It's my pleasure to announce that there are a couple of things we do before the council meeting gets started tonight. And the first of them is a remedial action requirement adjudication reconsideration hearing related to the property at 1395 Trans-Canada Highway. Under the provisions of the community charter, a reconsideration of the remedial action requirement has been granted to the property owner of 1395 Trans-Canada Highway. Council to reconsider the resolution presented on page 54 of this document regarding a remedial action requirement for the property and in the village of Cache Creek. The stages of this hearing shall proceed as listed. First, is there any member of council who feels they have a conflict of interest? No. And staff presentation, CAO Couture to present regarding the remedial action requirement.
Thank you, Mayor Manta. Good evening, everyone. Perfect timing.
What's going on, Carmen?
Everything's fine. I'm in Lillooet, and I'm sorry if I interrupted your meeting.
It's no problem. I'll just leave you here. Do you want to attend the meeting or what?
No, I can't because the service is really bad.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. We're just getting started. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for calling.
Well, it's good to hear she made it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's using a school district vehicle.
Oh. You wouldn't let something get into disrepair like that, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Carrying on, thank you everyone. My presentation this evening concerns the property located at 1395 Trans-Canada Highway, owned by Ms. Harkness. This matter comes before council as a reconsideration under section 78 of the community charter. Council adopted a remedial action requirement order in respect to this property on August 5th, 2025. That order was the subject of a reconsideration in October of 2025, and the motion arising from that reconsideration was subsequently rendered a nullity by the court or by a court decision. The original order remains in place, and council is being asked this evening to reconsider the subject with fresh eyes. The owner was provided with written notice of tonight's hearing and is entitled to make representations to council before council deliberates. As CAO, I will provide council with an overview of the file and its background, the actions taken thus far by staff, the procedural history of the reconsideration, the current condition of the site, and the recommendations staff bring forward this evening. Starting with the history of this property is long and well documented. In 2015, the original accessory structure was significantly damaged during the Lopez Creek flooding event that impacted the community. In 2018, the village became aware of unpermitted reconstruction and expansion activities. A site inspection was completed by our building inspector at the time, and a stop work order was posted on the property in October of 2018. Despite this, construction continued. By 2023, the structure had grown into a large two-story building and was observed to be in use as a residence. On March 14th, 2023, a multi-agency inspection took place. This inspection revealed serious life safety concerns like unpermitted plumbing and electrical work, non-compliant stair access posing fall hazards, a lack of safe egress from the upper floor, and the structure itself is located within a floodplain and riparian area near an unstable slope. As a result, a do not occupy order was posted on the structure that same day. Following the inspection, village staff engaged extensively with the property owner to support voluntary compliance. From April 2023 to November 2023, the village issued a series of 3 formal extensions to allow for deconstruction time. On October 30th, 2023, Ms. Harkness submitted a written demolition plan identifying an alternate person to complete the work if needed and requesting until September 1st, 2024 to complete it. In good faith, the village waived demolition fees and accepted the proposed schedule. Despite these efforts, no material progress was made. The structure remained standing and occupied and in breach of the do not occupy order and the building bylaw. In the time since, the village received correspondence from Ms. Harkness and her son indicating various personal and legal challenges, but the building continued to pose a real and immediate risk. On August 5th, 2025, Council adopted the remedial action requirement order that's before you. On August 18th, 2025, the occupier, Mr. Corey Harkness, submitted a written request that Council reconsider the order as he is entitled to do so under Section 78 of the Community Charter. On October 20th, 2025, Council held a reconsideration hearing. Mr. Harkness appeared, made representations, and Council passed a motion in response. On April 17th, 2026, a court decision was filed that rendered the motion a nullity. The original order of August 5th, 2025 was unaffected and remains in force. On June 2nd, 2026, the village provided written notice to both the owner, Ms. Harkness, and the occupier, advising that Council would reconsider the original order this evening, and that each is entitled to appear and make representations. And that's what brings the matter before Council tonight. Village staff most recently attended the property on March 24th, 2026. The visit confirmed no substantial change in the condition of the property. The structure remains standing, remains occupied, remains in the same non-compliant and hazardous state. To summarize the situation to date, the structure sits within a designated floodplain and riparian area, is adjacent to an unstable slope, is not permitted and cannot be made compliant under current zoning regulations, contains serious building code violations, including unsafe construction, unapproved plumbing and electrical, and no legal occupancy permit. And despite the orders against it, continues to be in use and occupied. This building poses a real risk to life safety of the occupants, neighboring residents, and to village infrastructure. It also presents an environmental hazard to Lopez Creek and Cache Creek. Council's authority in this matter is found in Division 12 of the Community Charter. The order was made on the grounds set out in Section 73, which addresses buildings and structures that are in or create an unsafe condition, and Section 74, which addresses declared nuisances. Tonight's proceeding is governed specifically by Section 78. Section 78 provides that where a person states that where a person is entitled to notice request reconsideration, Council must provide that person an opportunity to make representations. Having provided that opportunity, Council may confirm, amend, or cancel the order. Section 78 permits Council to do either of those three, or any of those three things. It remains staff's assessment that the hazard is unchanged and that the risk, safety, and environment persist, and that the remedial action originally required remains necessary. Staff therefore recommend that Council confirm the remedial action requirement order adopted August 5th, 2025, require the owner to complete the remedial action within 60 days of service of this notice, or notice of tonight's decision, direct staff to provide notice of this decision in accordance with Section 78, Part 5 and 77 of the Community Charter, and confirm that should the remedial action not take place within the deadline, the village is authorized to carry out the work necessary and recover costs in accordance with Section 17, including by adding them to the tax roll for the property. In closing, the village has approached this file with patience and fairness. It has provided extensions, waived fees, and engaged in good faith to support voluntary compliance. It has also ensured that the owner and occupier have been given the opportunity to be heard, both in the original reconsideration and again this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO Couture. Are there any questions from Council to staff? Seeing none, on to property owner or occupant to provide authorized representative presentation. Is that going to be you, Corey?
Yes, that's going to be me.
Okay.
I want to start off by addressing the fact that the order made after the application in the Supreme Court, the first line says that the application for a stay of the August 6th, 2025 order is hereby dismissed as the August 6th, 2025 order no longer exists. So I'm not sure about that part. And then the other part I wanted to point out is that my mom got a thing from you guys from the building information request, and it says November 18th, addition to existing garage, stop work order issue. So there was a stop work order on the addition. The existing garage had a permit in 1992. And all we're asking is, I'll tear down the back of it, but we want to keep the original garage. And
that's correct.
I've already gutted the whole upstairs part, and it's ready to come down in a minute. Like I can just take it down. There's nothing upstairs at all. Nobody's living in the garage. I've been doing work in the garage and removing things, so I have a lot of stuff. There's also the walkthrough you guys did in March 24th?
March in 2023?
Yeah. No, this is the walkthrough when I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Early in 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, of this year. I didn't receive any information on what the outcome of that was. They just did a walkthrough and I received no documents of saying what was wrong with it, why it needed to be turned down, and so on. So other than that, those are my two questions at the beginning. The thing
Yeah.
about the original order says that it was non-existent anymore. The other one was invalid, so I'm not sure what we're going off of.
And it does say the stop work order was for the,
Because he posted it on that addition at the back. He didn't post it on the front door of the garage. The garage was already existing. And then he did a walkthrough in 2018 and said, I need to get a building permit for the addition. He said nothing was wrong with the garage.
that is correct.
What do you have to say about that, CAO Couture?
A few things. Specifically, when a structure is damaged, to the extent that it was in 2015, a building permit is necessary to be applied for. It has not occurred even to date. And that includes if you're building something from scratch or rebuilding something that was there. If you were to apply for a building permit today, it would be a challenge to build in that space. It's my belief, and also in conversation with the building inspector, that the construction at this space is beyond simply bringing it back to what it was. And additionally, staff have challenges with that representation because it puts forward a good faith representation that it's going to happen. And we've been trying to act in good faith now since I've been on this file for 3 years. And every time that we receive a deadline and a promise, there is no follow through. So that is a caution that I would raise to council. Looking at anything else, if there is a desire to do something, I think that the process would have to be that whatever is there would have to be removed. If something was under the necessary square footage to require a building permit or something to that effect, that would be a conversation with the building inspector. But we would have to see not promises, we would have to see applications, tangible conversations, and that sort of thing. But I think hard deadlines are important because the initial stop work order was put on the building in 2018. I'm not sitting here saying, I'm sure I have photos of it, but I don't have it in front of me, where a stop work order was put in 2018. I can say with confidence that in 2023, it was put on the front door because I was there.
Yeah.
2018, I'm not sure. I may have photography of it, but I don't know. But even still, a do not occupy and a stop work order apply to a whole structure, not portions of a structure. So if you put it on one side or one door and not the other, it applies to the whole place. A do not occupy means that whole space is not occupiable until it has been proven to be by registered professionals.
I have something to say.
Thank you. Go ahead, Tammy.
Thank you. Damien knows, and he knows this very well, that my son was accused of a crime January of 2019. That crime had him in and out of jail for 6 years.
Yeah.
We were going on our promises to, take care of the matter. We were going on the promises of the lawyer saying that he would be released. He will be released. We thought he was going to be released, and he wasn't released. He was not released till March 18th, 2025, and that was when the judge decided that he was indeed innocent of a crime that had him in and out of court, in and out of jail for 6 years. I got COPD, my husband's got cancer, and we were the only two on the property. When Damien came to me and he said, Tammy, it has to be taken down. But Tammy, just write me a letter every 2 months telling me why it hasn't been taken down. So I indeed followed those instructions, and I gave him a handwritten letter each and every 2 months telling him why it hadn't been taken down. Now, since we received the order and it was supposed to be taken down at the end of February, by the end of February, Corey has been working full time, and then it got cold, etc. Then when we started the court procedures, the paperwork that we received was not adequate. It wasn't the right paperwork. So indeed, it was annulled. All I'm asking for, and plus, in 2015, when we had all that devastation on our property, Mr. Cassidy and everybody seen us rebuilding the garage. We were giving money from the early bird for materials to rebuild the garage. We were given money, $25,000 from all the fundraising done in this community to help us rebuild our garage. Not one person told us that we had to have a building permit for that structure that was built, and we have a permit for right here. It wasn't gone. It wasn't totally gone or whatever. Otherwise, Corey wouldn't have been able to rebuild it. He rebuilt that original structure, the way the original structure was built to begin with by my dad in the 1990s. And with all that going on in the community, nobody bothered telling us, under all that destruction that we suffered in 2015, that we needed a building permit. Now, everybody was in and off of the property. How come nobody told us that then? You guys all waited until Corey added to it, and I was there the day that they put that on a stop work order in 2018. I was there, and it was put on the addition. I can show you the very post that was put on. It was put on the addition. It was not put on the original garage. Now, I am asking that the addition be taken down, and Corey bring back the original garage to the compliance that it was originally built, so we have a place to store our stuff, etc. And Damien even was surprised when he was out there in March. He measured from where the building is to where the creek bed is. It's not even like what he thought it was. The creek bed and all that stuff is not within the measurements that he originally said that they were. So all I'm asking is that we get to keep our original garage. It's got the cement there, all my sewers underneath that cement, and I want my original garage because I don't see why I should be paying Bill Elliott for monthly fees to store my stuff. Like, why can't I have my garage to store my stuff in? Like everybody else in this village has their stuff stored in a garage. All I'm asking for is for the original garage to be kept as the original garage. Corey will take down the other part. And the other part that he is taking down, he can use to rebuild the first one to the compliance that it's supposed to be as per this work order. And Damien, you know good and well that the reason why we had to not do good on our promises was because of the legal system and Corey being in and out of jail. And he's the only one that I can have anybody do because he is a construction worker. He is the one. And when the TNRD came in March, they had nothing to say about the structure. They thought the structure was sound. He told me myself. I phoned him because nobody sent us any information. I phoned that guy from TNRD. He said, the structure is sound, Tammy. I would give you a permit just like that, but you have to go through the village. So I wasn't given any information other than that verbally from the TNRD guy. You didn't come to my house and give me anything else, Damien. So it's just a matter of trying to keep my original garage so I can keep my storage stuff there.
I think the order applied to the entire structure, didn't it?
That is
CAO
correct.
Couture?
Yes.
So,
You think it did?
pardon me?
That's how those orders work.
They're two separate things, though.
They're two separate things. This order here says it is. Right there, it says from the annulment from the judge.
That says that they're two separate
No, it doesn't
structures.
say it's two separate structures, but they are two separate structures because it was an existing addition to existing garage.
The building was substantially damaged to the point
Why would it say
that
existing garage then?
But why didn't anybody come and tell us that we needed to get a permit when you guys were all over my property and everything else? The mayor was even on my property. He says, I'm sorry to say, Tammy, you're not going to get anything for this damage. Mr. Cassidy was on my property. He was the only one in this whole village who came to help me when all that debris came down the back part of me.
Well, and why would they give us donations for more building supplies to rebuild it if it wasn't allowed to be rebuilt?
Yeah, why were all those things done?
Like
And now you guys-
Early Bird dropped the wood off.
Yeah, Early Bird dropped it off and we were given all the instructions.
If I may just
Councilor Peters.
clarify, the fundraising was done to help those that were not covered by DFA funding to do remediation work and to clean up their properties. It was not to rebuild
But we could
them.
only spend it at Early Bird on supplies. That's the one way we could spend money.
No, that was over
No.
$1,000. The $25,000 I figured was to help build the
No, it was
garage.
to remediate and to clean your properties because disaster financial assistance didn't cover that. Disaster financial assistance does not cover outbuildings. It only covers residences.
Mhm.
And so that was meant to subsidize the cleanup of your yard, those kinds of things. That's what that money was designated for.
Well, I'm asking that we keep our original garage. Corey can bring it back into the standards that it was when my dad built it. And I don't see any reason why we can't. Why shouldn't we be entitled to have a place to keep our storage?
Councillor Peters.
Through the chair to CAO Couture, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that even if their garage was still partially standing, and I saw it, so I know it wasn't completely standing, that they would have had to take out permits to do any repairs to that.
That is correct. And just like how there was an initial building permit, if you're constructing anything, even if it was today, even if today you wanted to go and rebuild that same structure, you would have to apply for a building permit. And throughout this whole process, there's been an opportunity to apply for a permit.
No, there hasn't. There has not.
We were told it had to come down.
There
We were
always
told it
is
had to
an
come down. We weren't
opportunity.
told we were allowed to ask for a permit. We were never told that we were allowed to ask for a permit. You told me, Damien, that it's too bad you didn't ask for a permit many years ago, Tammy, because you might have gotten it then, but you sure as heck aren't going to get it now. You never told me throughout this whole process that I could have been asking for a permit. You did not tell me that, Damien.
The onus is on us.
It's your word against my word.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council to the owner, occupant, or authorized representative? Seeing none, is there any public input?
Of course not.
Seeing none, for the first time,
Well, we're recording it.
for the first time, I have to do this 3 times. For the first time, is there any public comment? Yes,
I think so. There is some misunderstanding or like our property. So I think so if the stop work order there, I think so in 2018, I think so something. So that time is a different inspector. Last time I was here too. So when my property there is a stop work order, that's just for the 2 rooms. After then, when the new inspector came, it's considered like a whole
One
whole
structure,
body.
yeah.
Yeah. So same thing happened like something like here. There is a maybe misunderstanding. So maybe they put only the addition. After then, when new inspector came and it's considered like a whole house. And I want to request to the council too, when said this, you need a permit. So when you apply the permit there, application came to here, the inspector always talked to Mr. Damien. So after then there is a big long list, they said, oh, you need a survey requirement. Pretty much if you want to build the new house, they ask the same application, that paperwork. That's costly. If some people, they don't work, they don't have that much income, then it's hard for that people. It's better to help those people if there is a small, they can, there is some other remedies like a structure engineer, they have to provide the letter like a structure is in good shape or not. Otherwise, we have to do whole process. That's too much costly. Some people they cannot do. Some people they cannot afford that one. So rather than, I think so, council had to decide rather than these guys go to the road. So you guys can give some relaxation how they can prove the house structure is in good shape. So that kind of remedy you guys can do. I just recommend. I don't know what's your decision. So there is some miscommunication. Both Mr. Kocher and they telling there is some gaps. So they said a court order said that part is demolished. Mr. Kocher said his whole house structure, and Sue Peter said a garage was on the shape there. It depends how much is that damage. Who will consider how much is the garage damage? So who has the authority?
Yeah.
So structure engineer has to visit the site and he can provide a report a structure is in good shape or structure is not in good shape. Maybe there is a need repairs. And according to that letter, so they have to work on his property. If if like there is a who's deciding like a structure is damaged? Like a super decided she saw the garage.
Yeah.
That's it.
Who decided how much damage was done to the original garage? 25%, 50%? Who decided that?
Um,
Who told us that?
Who told us? Nobody gave us no.
Administrator Couture.
With that process, when an emergency occurs, well, taking a step back, that is typically, in this case, in the case before us right now, that is assessed through the photography, looking at the photos from 2015, seeing the damage to the structure, multiple walls collapsed. It would be tough to assume that it's not over a certain point, considering the damage that it was. In a typical sense, it's usually a conversation with the building inspectors who are trained professionals in this. And then also in the event of flooding emergencies and things like that, when do not occupies are placed on properties, that is also somebody that has their specific training that people take to do rapid damage assessments, and then that's usually backstopped by a building inspector if it's not the building inspector doing rapid damage assessments. In this case, there wouldn't have been a rapid damage assessment because it wasn't a home at the time, and that's a key thing. And even back then, I don't know if that same program that exists today was in place in 2015. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But in this case, the large trigger was the fact that there was a substantial addition being built to the structure, and then it was immediate. The building inspector said this has to stop.
Thank you. And is it my understanding from reading all the information that the garage is in the riparian area of Lopez Creek?
Lopez Creek and Cache Creek
Cash Creek too.
is my
House
understanding.
being repaired.
Yeah. Holy mackerel, you might as well take the whole damn place
Could-
down and get no room for
Could
over our head
very
whatsoever.
well be. That's
Yeah? Oh, really?
that's part of.
We're higher up than the mayor.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
It's the wrong time to go there.
Oh, you mean one day down the road here, you guys are gonna come on my property and tell me that I can't live there anymore because I'm too close to the creek? Is that what's up and coming? Hey?
Not that I'm aware
Not
of.
that we're aware of.
We haven't had any flooding since that.
Now, for the second time, is there any public comment?
I thought his comment was very good. I want to get some information.
We'll get information.
And for the third and final time, is there
We'll
any
go back to court.
additional public comment? Hi Chuck, how are you doing?
I'm here.
Oh, it's lovely to see you.
You don't want me to comment, I'll have to keep quiet.
Are there any final comments from staff?
I think that I've said the vast majority. I don't think I have any other comments. No.
Thank you. Are there any final comments from the owner, occupant, or authorized representative?
I want to keep my original garage.
Thank you. Council deliberation of the proposed motion happens momentarily, and council can request clarification at this point, but no new evidence is permitted. So, yes, Councillor Peters?
I would move that pursuant to section 78.4 of the Community Charter, Council confirm the remedial action requirement order adopted August 5th, 2025 in respect to the property at 1395 Trans-Canada Highway, Cache Creek, BC, PID 001-821-962. That the owner is required to complete the remedial action set out in the order within 60 days of service of notice of this decision, and that staff be directed to provide notice of this decision in accordance with section 78.5 and 77 of the Community Charter.
What date was that?
That's what she's moving. Is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried. Now, I will close the remedial action requirement adjudication reconsideration hearing. And we will come to the notice on title hearing to call that meeting to order.
Are we done?
Well, I was going to suggest a brief recess between the two, maybe a couple minutes, just so
A
people can
recess.
transition.
Did you vote?
Yes.
So we're done here?
Thanks for coming, Tammy.
Tabby was.
Oh, yes.
Now, you don't want to go out
Thank you
there
very much.
without your sweater. Are you still looking for more time?
I'm all good.
You're good? This is a notice on title hearing. Council deferred this item for consideration at this meeting. Council to review the report submitted by CAO Couture and Building Inspector Travis Backmeyer regarding the property at 1248 Quartz, 1248 Stage Road, previously known as the Tumbleweed Motel. Are there any members of council that feel they have a conflict of interest in this matter? Seeing none, staff presentation CAO Couture to present regarding the notice on title.
Thank you, Mayor Ranta. My report is very similar to the previous one. Council will recall that this matter was before you on June 15th when a hearing was held under Section 57 of the Community Charter regarding the property at 1248 Quartz Road and 1248 Stage Road. The property owner attended, made submissions, and council resolved to defer the consideration to tonight's meeting instead to allow the owner additional time to advance the permit process. I want to start by acknowledging that the progress that has been made since the last meeting. A building permit application has been accepted, and for both buildings in our retaining wall, meaning that they've been submitted. That is a genuine step forward, and staff want to recognize the owner's efforts in getting there. That said, I need to be clear about what an accepted application means and what it doesn't. An accepted application is the beginning of the permit process and not the end. The work remains incomplete. The required inspections have not yet occurred, and no occupancy permit has been issued. So the do not occupy order and the stop work order both remain in effect on the properties. Following the acceptance of the application, I asked the building inspector directly just last week, right before the deadline for the meeting, whether this changed his recommendation, and his answer was that it does not. Because this infraction is classified as a major violation due to the risk it poses to the public, his recommendation remains that a notice be placed on title until the files are completed. Staff share that position. I want to reiterate a point from the last meeting because I think it's important. The notice on title and the permit process are not in conflict with each other. They serve different purposes. The permit process is the owner's path to compliance, and it continues regardless. The notice on title is the village's tool for formally declaring what we know, that there are documented infractions on this property that have not yet been resolved. Filing the notice does not slow the owner down to complete his application, and once the permits are completed and an occupancy permit is issued, the owner can apply to have the notice removed along with the orders. What the notice does do is protect the village. Until it is filed, we carry the risk of our formal knowledge of these infractions without the protection of having acted on it. If the property were to change hands or something were to occur on the site before the files are completed, the village's position would be that we knew something and did not act. This matter has now had a full hearing and a deferral. The circumstances that brought it here before council haven't changed, and staff recommend that council resolve this matter tonight by directing myself to file a notice on title.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council to staff? Seeing none, the property owner, occupant, or authorized representative is permitted now to make a presentation.
So pretty much we disagree with the notice on title. So since our last meeting here as well too, we've been complying. Even before that, we've been complying with the building permits, getting them in. So this last 2-3 weeks, they've been in, and we feel like that there shouldn't be a notice on title. No one's doing work there right now anyways, regardless. So building permits in, so it's now on TNRD to give us a building permit and do their inspections. Nothing's being done there right now, and no one's occupying the building.
So which one's like a final acceptance? We have an email, so I send Mr. Kocher and I CC you guys too, like on the June 18, so that it's processed. The other thing is the inspector already did the inspection, all the rooms. After that, he said he cannot take any responsibility. You guys have to hire the engineers. Basically, engineers, they have to provide the Schedule CB and Schedule C and insurance. Like they have to come and check, like a structure is good. So which one? That one I provide. For the electrical, we provide the Schedule CP, Schedule B. For the plumbing, Schedule B. For the structure, Schedule CB too, like a structure or a structure engineer already file a final report like there is a structure isn't safe. So all the engineers, they submit the letters. So pretty much after they issue the permit, he has to do the just inspection. After this, after the last meeting, I talked to Mr. Damien on the phone, like if you have a time, you can visit the site, like why you guys stop work on the whole property when is it like 6 or 7 rooms has a problem. So then Mr. Damien said like they will take time, like 4 to 5 weeks, TNRD issue the permit. After then I emailed to Mr. Travis too. Then after then he emailed me, so like June 30th, he said we are committed to 3 to 5 week process time period of complete application dependent on several levels of construction and developments. So they don't need anything from us. They pretty much, if they need anything, if they have a comment, is go to the engineers. So we already done our part. They have to issue the permit. I was happy if the last meeting the Damien said like it will take 3 to 4 weeks. Then we request that time like we don't need a week, right? The other thing, so Mr. Damien said like this if you put the notice on title, there is no problem. It will not stop the work. It will be problem because we need a mortgage from the bank. So if the title goes to the property, then we cannot get the mortgage for that. So that's one thing. The second thing, so when everything in line, so application is accepted, why we need it for that? So in the last meeting, I forget to mention there, like Mrs. Carmen Renta when asked to the Mr. Damien, like what is the conflict with the public safety or the council? Then Mr. Damien said like if they sold the property to the someone, then they can sue us to the council like they didn't put on the title. So in same question, Mr. Damien, in the last meeting I told too, like before to buy that building, I talked to Mr. Damien, there is any problem. He said there's no problem. If that means like I have to sue to the council, that's not the process. Nobody can sue the council because when someone buy the property, he has to talk to the village of Cache Creek or TNRD like, hey, I want to buy this property. There is any dispute with this property. That's owner's responsibility. Nobody can put that responsibility to the council like, hey, I bought this property and you guys did not do your work and you guys put already stop work. After that, so I don't think so there is any council responsibility that anybody can sue to the council. Even I want to ask Mr. CO2, Kocher too, like, can I sue now? Because you guys did not put that on title that time. So I don't think so that's a valid reason, like they can do it. I cannot sue you guys. I talked to my lawyer, he said no. There is no option, right? I'm not that lucky, he said no, okay? So permit is in process. So I think so there is that's the like we can say progress. So right now it's 3 weeks, I think so, or 3 to 4 weeks. So they can comment anytime to us. So after then they can issue the permit and after then we do the final inspection. So I don't think so this notice has to be on file. I don't feel any solid reason why we have to that. And if it's put on title, then it has to be a problem. So then we cannot get mortgage and any other conflict they can And the other thing, so the Ministry of Land, the Ministry of Water and Resources, they gonna buy the small piece of land there, and it will affect that one too, like for the transaction too. For the creek, they need that small parcel along to the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they sent us that contract too. So if you put the this title, then it will be processed. That process will be slow too.
Well, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Administrator Co-Chair, the purpose of a Section 57 being placed on a property is to protect the village from liability if we know there are deficiencies with the property. And we do know there are deficiencies with the property, so it's simply to protect the village from liability. And I was unaware that you're not able to get a mortgage if there's a notice on title of the property. I don't know if that's the case, but you say it is, so I'll take your word for it. But the Section 57 only really has force and effect if you sell the property. And I asked you last time you were here if you were planning to sell the property, and you said no at that time.
No, we will not sell it.
And so it makes no real difference from our point of view unless and until you sell the property.
Yeah, we don't want to sell the property, so we did lots of work there, remove the dirt, and so we want to run that water. That is my retirement plan.
Are you going to move to Cache Creek when you retire?
Yeah, maybe now when we open the motor, then maybe I move here. Yeah.
Yeah. Councillor Peters.
So I think my point to make is just that we have zero control over building permits, and we are obligated by law to follow the recommendations and the notices that the building inspector puts on any given property within the community. We understand your frustration, but we are elected to represent the people, and I think this is, the notice on title is our way of protecting the people. We are a small community with not a lot of money, and a lawsuit could be catastrophic to us. So, you know, like I say, we don't control that, the building inspector does. We follow his recommendations. We approve things on his recommendations, and until, I would assume that if you went to your mortgage company and said that yes, there is a notice on title, but we now have a building permit, this is our plan, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't tell you for sure, but I would think or a banker, but I would think that would stand you in good stead. And again, I just reiterate, as Mayor Ranta did, that it is our job to protect the village, and that's what we must do.
Are there any questions from council for the owner, occupant, or authorized representative? Seeing none, I now will call 3 times for public comment on this file. For the first time, is there any public comment on this file? Yeah.
What's the hindrance on that property now? They said it's in danger. Why?
It's what?
That property is supposed to be, like he said, it's in danger of what? The only reason there was a flood there is a damn culvert with 100-foot long culvert clogged up and had no place to go but over the top.
I understand.
It's ridiculous. And we're putting a $4.5 million bridge on there. Put a 12-foot pipe in there. Forget about it. Smooth pipes. Anything goes through, straight down the street. Spending millions of dollars here. We're absolutely ridiculous.
4.2, I think it is.
Yeah, but then there's 10% we got to pay, and then the overruns, and they're up, and they could be another $1 million.
We're a little bit off subject here.
Yeah, point of order.
We're off subject.
I know. But
so unless you have something to state on this,
well, that's what I say. If that bridge or culvert was put in there, there would be no.
I don't think that's not what.
That is not the issue at hand.
Okay.
The issue at hand is the work that was done against permits that were, or without permits and stop work orders. on the and do not occupy orders on the property. That is what this comes from, nothing to do with the safety of the place itself.
For the second time, any public comment? Yes, I think I see your hand in it.
Yes, I'm questioning why you didn't put this on the building right away. Like, you knew it was damaged from the flooding. Why wasn't there an order put on it before it was even sold to these people? To protect the village from any liability. Why wasn't that? You're putting a sticker on the title. Why wasn't that done previous to this?
CAO Couture.
Speaking to that, a do not occupy has been on it since day one. Since it initially had the rapid damage assessment on the property, and a do not occupy has been there for the whole time. The time that changes is when changes occur on the property. So when somebody starts building on the property and they don't have proper permits, that's when we go in with the notice on title. That's kind of the catalyst for that change.
There was no building going on at the time. It was just a cleanup of the whole property.
There was a retaining wall being constructed.
Yeah, and that was separate from the building, not the building itself.
It's on the property. That's what starts triggering the whole process. A retaining wall was being constructed. A retaining wall means a building permit over a certain size.
Thank you. For the second time,
When were you made aware of us having to put this notice on? Who told you? And when? To put this notice?
Me?
57 on, yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to them.
You're the one that
I thought it was.
I thought
Yes.
too.
So the typical.
just so we all know.
Yeah, so the typical process for the notice on title, or the typical process overall, with stop work and then notice on title. A notice on title is kind of seen as a step up and over past a stop work order.
When did they tell you this was needed?
I was given the letter, I think it was in May.
May 16th.
May 16th. It's in the supporting documents, yes. And very specifically, because we attempt to resolve things through the stop work order. When the building inspector feels that he hasn't seen progress, he will recommend a notice on title to come into play. And he recommended that in May.
May 15th.
May
I believe
13th, the letter was dated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What year?
2026.
For
sir.
the
26.
third and final time, is there any other public comment? Annette?
So if these folks didn't purchase this property, there was these notices on the property, weren't we responsible as a village
No.
then? Like,
No.
like if they didn't buy it, we would be responsible, would we not?
Property.
According to what you're saying?
Administrator Co-Chair.
For the process of a do not occupy, it remains there and it's attached to it as well in a similar fashion. It is something that can be checked, and it would show up through a building information request that would typically show up through a purchase. So that would inform a future purchaser if there was something going on with the property. Like the notice on title is just seen as kind of the next step of a stop work order, separate from a do not occupy.
Thank you.
Sometimes attached, but
But the liability issue changed as soon as they started working on it.
Oh,
That's where the change came in.
Okay, I've called 3 times for public comment. Seeing no further public comment, are there any final comments from staff?
I have no further comments. No.
Are there any final comments from the owner, occupant, or authorized representative?
So, Peter, so that's not the frustration. I just provide here as a fact. Okay, I'm not frustrated. I am waiting from I'm almost 3 years now, right? I am not frustrated, nobody is. And the other thing is for the bank purpose. So I am right now present board of director Khalsa Credit Union. So I know that fact too, because if there is any property has a problem with city, or there is on any notice on title, you can sell or you cannot do finance, you cannot do anything for that. So that is a problem with for the mortgage. And the other thing I told you, like the ministry, they want to buy the land of trees. There is a problem to delay that process. The important thing is we are complying for all orders. We respect the orders. We provide all the documents. It's accepted already. Maybe for 2 weeks they said issue the permit, or 3 weeks. So then we don't need a order. I think so. There's no necessity because we respect the order. We doing all the paperwork according to whatever they required. We are doing that one. So if we don't follow the order, we said like, okay, we don't need to show up here, right? So we respect the councils, we respect the orders. So everything is in good standing. So I think so. There's no need for the notice 57 or something. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. There is now an opportunity for council deliberation of the proposed motion. They may request clarification at this point, but no new evidence is permitted. Are there any questions from council related to the process? The recommendation is that council direct the corporate officer to file a notice on the title of Lot A, PLKP 8248, District Lot 104, KDYD 1248 Quartz Road, 1248 Stage Road, Cache Creek, BC, at the Land Title and Survey Authority of BC pursuant to section 57.3 of the Community Charter. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion.
This
Councilor Liebert.
should not affect your bank loan at all.
It
should.
No, it will be because when
It should. You guys, you purchased the property already, have you not? That's the only way you can take title.
no, the issue is like when
You already have title, correct?
so we have a title, there is no mortgage right now.
There's no mortgage on it.
So how did you buy the property?
It's all cash.
So I don't see where the problem is if you paid for it.
No, the problem is like we buy the property cash, we spend money on cash, like whatever dirt remove, like from the creek side, we remove the dirt is $40,000 cost for that. Remove the dirt from driveway, all that kind of stuff, flooring, change, paint. The Mr. Damien know when we do anything, then we talk to the Damien.
So when
So
you go
right
for
now,
your
so-
mortgage,
So right
you
now
tell
we,
them all that.
sorry?
When you go for your mortgage, you tell them that you put all that money into it. They'll take all that into consideration. This should not and will not cause you.
No,
any
issue
problems.
is like we spend the money after when it's done. So then we will apply the mortgage. We already applied the mortgage. I can show you the email, RBC Bank and the
I'm not
BDC.
gonna disagree.
So the issue is right now, so when the bank, they are funding any property, if that property is any dispute, they don't feel safe to put money there. They said, no, you guys have a problem there, so we don't wanna give the loan. First, you guys have to solve this problem. Because the bank, they don't know how big is a problem. It's small or big. That's the issue. So that's why no one bank, like even our bank, our credit union, so when they see there is any issue on the title, there is a CPL, if there is any lien, they don't proceed anything.
No,
Even lien is
I
at
understand what
$2,000,
you're
they
saying.
don't say that. Yeah.
But
Even
It's no.
that
I
can't
think-
concern us as a village.
you guys are missing the fishery part too. I think they are sending us a contract to buy some of our land to make the creek bigger.
That's
So I mean,
so-
that's gonna be delayed on
Yeah,
as well.
The bank will be interested in that. We as a village, that does not affect us.
What, the creek
It does not have a bearing to our decision
or the creek?
for the creek, period.
The bank has nothing to do with the creek though.
Well, You're saying
That's a
that the
different matter.
creek is gonna be bought, so you can use that money towards your mortgage.
It's not much, it's a little bit.
It still has no bearing on our decision with this, sorry.
So what is the benefit for the village? Like if they put on the title, what is the benefit for that? Like saving from who?
To protect us from liability.
Like can I know like what's the liability, Mr. Damien?
Administrator Kutcher.
I want to say something, but I was actually putting my hand up to call a point of order because this is
Kind
It-
of offset.
The discussion's
Yeah.
already happened.
the discussion's
voting on
already
it.
occurred.
We're at the recommendation
Yeah.
on the agenda.
I think we like some more time though. If you guys are putting something on it, I mean, we've seen progress on it, so I don't know why we're putting it on title.
Well, we really appreciate the fact that you've gone after your permits for the plumbing, the electrical, and the building permit. We appreciate the work that you're doing, and we're confident that you'll be able to complete the job and that you'll get a mortgage on the property once everything is cleared out of the way. On the motion then, we have it moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. I'll now close the notice on title hearing and call to order the regular council meeting. I see no delegations on the agenda, and so there won't be any business arising from delegations. On the minutes of the June 15th meeting, pages 68 to 90, I would move that the minutes of the meeting held on June 15th be adopted as circulated.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none, committee reports, economic development, Councillor Ebert.
Nothing new this time.
Thank you. Budget and Administrative Services. Councillor Ranta apparently requested that council consider issuing a public newsletter in the month of July to inform the public of key council and village items, and the council discuss what items they would like included. Councillor Peters?
I feel that this close to an election, that could be perceived as being campaigning, and I don't think we should do it.
Thank you. So, if the other council present feel the same way, then we won't pursue Councillor Ranta's request.
I agree.
There you go. Thank you. On to bylaw and policy review. Councillor Peters.
I would move that the minutes of the bylaw and policy review committee meeting that took place June 29th, 2026 be adopted as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
I would move that council approve the revisions to policy E1 recreation facilities and events booking as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
And I would move that council give first, second, and third readings to bylaw 5-010-2026 sign bylaw amendment.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Public Works, Councillor Deaver.
Nothing new this time.
Healthcare and Protective Services, Councillor Deaver.
Nothing new this time.
Emergency Management, Councillor Peters.
Nothing at this time.
Parks and Recreation, Councillor Deaver.
We had a bit of a discussion, and there's some minutes to be laid aside here. That was,
Is that motion?
yes, so moved.
So you're moving the recommendation
Yes.
and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Landfill Advisory Committee, I think we're in good shape in that file. On to TNRD and Intergovernmental Liaison. I would move that we receive and file the Thompson Regional Hospital District meeting highlights.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And I would move the council receive and file the Thompson Nicola Regional District Board meeting highlights.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. On to Cache Creek Community Fund, and the two council members involved in this one are both absent. Desert Sands Community School has advised the village that the recipient of the 2025 bursary is Gary Gross. Gary is a resident of Cache Creek and a junior member of the Cache Creek Fire Department. So warmest congratulations to Gary Gross. Councillor Peters.
And Mayor Renta and Councilor Renta and I attended the graduation ceremony, and they distributed over $32,000, I believe was the number,
Yeah,
in
something like
bursaries
that, yeah.
this year. So that's pretty impressive.
That's up quick.
And I do have to say, as being the Lions actually have a bursary committee that we redact all the names and personal information, and then there's a committee that reviews them and scores them, and we had tough decisions this year. There were some amazing graduates.
Yeah, that's for sure, yeah. Thank you. On to staff reports.
Mayor Ranta, if I could just call a brief recess.
A brief recess. Holy Lord, Dinah. I think all he wants to do is go for coffee.
You're welcome.
What's happening out there?
Oh, they're having a big discussion up there, so he's saying that they're going to be in the middle of the building.
Oh, good.
Ready when you are.
On to the staff report, pages 120 to 142.
I would move that council authorize the chief administrative officer to execute a purchase order with Rollins Machinery Limited as the authorized Labrie Enviro-Equip Group distributor for the supply and delivery of one Freightliner M2 106 Plus chassis with Labrie Automizer TTD side loading refuse collection body in the total amount of $435,278 Canadian before applicable taxes, procured under the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract 110223-LEG, and that the funding for this purchase be drawn from the approved 2026 capital budget line for garbage truck replacement.
Seconded.
Any discussion?
Yay!
All those in favor, opposed, carried, thank you. Information correspondence, there's only one item of incoming correspondence. I would move that we receive and file the items of information correspondence.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, carried, thank you. Is there any new business? Seeing none. Questions from the public? Yes.
When do you think we'll be receiving our new garbage truck?
Probably as long as 18 months from now.
You're pretty dang close. The estimate is between 12 and 18 months. That's why we want to get it in sooner than later. Ours is a pretty typical build, so we're hoping closer.
Yeah,
but
closer to 12 rather than 18.
That's the
It'll
preference.
take some time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, they don't deliver it tomorrow.
I wish. In stock.
Amazon. Go from Amazon.
Yeah. I wonder if they have garbage trucks. I've never looked.
Are there any other questions from the public? No questions from the press?
Nothing today.
Thank you very much. We have need of a closed session pursuant to section 90.1 and 90.2 of the community charter. I would so move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.